welcome back to Football Watch 90. I'm your host, Luis. This is what the copa comes in. It does have a box. It's a sliding box, as you've seen earlier. And basically, they do have a string bag on this one. So I've actually never bought a laceless boot, which is gonna be a novelty for us here in this channel. A novelty for me. I'm a bit skeptical about boots that have no laces on it because I feel that basically it's just a matter of time before you just basically lose lockdown on the shoe. Had gone down. My usual size is a 10 and this is a 9.5. Everyone's gonna tell you this, you should try them on in the store. Nonetheless, this is a 9.5. It does fit pretty snug. It's a leather upper, so I hope that the leather will kind of stretch a bit. It looks like the midfoot and the rest of the area is sort of, wouldn't say it's a hybrid touch, but it's a synthetic, so this is not gonna really stretch a lot. The insole is synthetic suede again, very good quality. You feel it's kind of thick and sturdy. So as we look in the inside, it doesn't really have the same synthetic material on the rest of the boot. It only has it on this area from here, which is the heel lining, which has the same synthetic material. So it's gonna try to support your ankle and the lockdown when you're wearing this. All right, so these are 9.5. So off the bat, I would say they are very snug. So we'll just have to see in long term how well this actually provides any lockdown, or if there's any kind of give in terms of stretching out the leather part of the boot. I have to say that I'm kind of pleasantly surprised that the studs doesn't feel like the studs anchor so much to the floor, because that was kind of the issue that I had with the Predators. They were actually anchored so much on the grass, on the artificial grass, and my knee was kind of torquing a bit. And of course you don't want that because it's gonna hurt your knees and the ligaments there. But for these, it feels really nice. Let's see what the touch on the ball feels like. I have to say that I'm very surprised how speedboot-esque these shoes actually feel. They feel really tight, they feel really slim. It doesn't feel bulky, unlike the Predators. They do feel kind of bulky. I think these are even a better option than the Speed Portal. It feels very strange at first when you see your feet. You don't see any shoelaces. But again, this is a 9.5. I feel they hug my feet very well. And even here in this arc of the midfoot area, it feels very snug. And the touch on the ball feels very nice, very plush, very elegant. That I would suggest people to try this if you are a speed boot enthusiast, especially with the Adidas. I feel personally, and it's just my opinion, of course, that the Speed Portal just feel too plasticish, and basically the sensation when you kick the ball, I feel there's some dead space, and it's just not very pleasant for me. However, of course, you're not gonna have the same sole plate that's gonna look like it's for speeding and basically like moving fast. It's gonna give you this crazy amount of traction. At the end of the day, I don't think that matters much. If you're fast, you're fast. If you're slow, you're slow. But the great thing about this is that there are sort of like half conical studs here, but they actually do a great job in this kind of artificial grass because, like I said, I don't feel that this is too aggressive, and then it anchors my foot onto the ground. So pivoting is very nice. It's smooth. I don't feel that it's hurting my knees. And overall, the sole plate feels kind of stiff, but I wouldn't say it's too stiff. I actually like it very much. Final thoughts about the shoe. Basically, I think that they did a tremendous job with the leather. The amount of leather that they do include in this boot is actually pretty soft. It feels pretty thin if you put your hands inside, and basically you can feel it's pretty thin. This kind of patterns that you see in the copa, they're basically some sort of pads here that are gonna help make the boot feel a little plush when you get the ball here. It goes throughout the boot, but I guess this is very helpful here to just make the touch on the ball feel very silky smooth. I really enjoyed this boot. Unfortunately, I think that what I did wrong, and maybe it was because of my lack of patience, is that I went half a size down, and I would definitely suggest to go through the size. My big toe was basically right here in the front of the shoe, and at the beginning of my training and reviewing this boot, I definitely felt like I was gonna be able to do my regular routines without any discomfort. But unfortunately, after some time, I did feel like it was something that was bothering me a little too much, that I had to take the boot off. The tightness of the boot in general, I'm not sure it's because I went half a size down, but it feels very, very snug, and I really do appreciate that. Like I did mention that the lockdown is pretty good. I was wearing grip socks, so I don't know what it would be like without grip socks, but definitely I think if you go through the size with grip socks, it should be a very pleasant experience. Kicking the ball with the copa feels amazing. Definitely, like especially for this model, the Copa Plus, it has no laces, and you just have a clean striker zone all around. I'm not sure how much importance you might put into it. I personally don't put too much importance in it, but I will have to say that it does feel really nice when you're kicking with the arc of the foot here, and it's clean striking zone on contact with the ball. It feels interesting, and again, I'm not gonna say it's game changing, but it definitely feels really nice. Overall, I think this is Adidas' best product in the market right now. Compared to the Speed Portal and the Predators, I would rather buy a Copa, and perhaps I would buy it in my size, true to size. I like the whiteout version, but they didn't have them in the store. I would have to order them if I really wanted them, but I think that this is Adidas' best product right now, and I mean, I'm gonna say that again and again, but if you want a speed boot, this is a better option than a Speed Portal, especially because the upper material feels a lot more comfortable, especially when touching the ball, and this boot is a very slim fitting boot. So I think that this is just like a no-brainer for me, that I would rather choose this over the Speed Portal. And in terms of wider feet, they definitely go with the lace version because it can accommodate wider feet, and especially it's a lot easier because you don't have this mesh part here, which is basically what they need to do in order to make this a laceless boot. And of course, I've seen other reviews, and perhaps you have seen too, that people with wider feet will fit in the Copa with laces. Very comfortable, especially because the leather upper definitely accommodates and molds to your feet, so that's gonna be no issue. And if you want to pay almost $300 for this, I mean, I don't think it's worth it. Go with the lace version, save some money, and it's gonna be a little more comfortable. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.